Hey guys, I have a good news to share. Thank you for 1000 subscribers. Thank you for liking, commenting, sharing our video. Without you, there is no So by Babel channel. In celebration of this, I'll be showing you how to make this beautiful dress in a short time. I'll be using a chicoso fabric, a black zip. I'll be using 3 yards of chiffon and 3 yards of lining with my black thread. My fabric is folded in 4 for the front and the back, and I'll also measure out my shoulder line, my bust line, my under bust line, waist line and hip line. So the next thing I'll go ahead to do is to mark out my shoulder measurement divided by 2. So I go ahead to mark it out like this. I'll also take the same measurement on my bust line. The next thing I'll go ahead to do now is to connect this into the 2 lines together. I'll go ahead to form a straight line just like you see me do. After doing that, the next thing is to come down by 1 inch from your shoulder line. After doing that, you take the remaining measurement, dividing it in 2 just like this. Just fold your tape in 2. Mark that point out and connect your 1/2 inch to your neck intake measurement, or your neck region, the place where you'll be taking your neck measurement. So the next thing now is to go ahead to mark 1/2 inch from that mark. From that 1/2 inch you went by in. The next thing now is to make your armhole curve. So connect it from your shoulder line. From that 1 inch you went down by, connect it like so, and then end it at your bust point line just like this. The next thing now is to mark out your bust measurement divided by 4. Remember, we are taking a measurement divided by 4 because we folded our fabric in 4 for the front and for the back. The next thing I'll go ahead to do now is to take my waist measurement divided by 4. I'll also mark my bust measurement divided by 4 on my bust point as well. I'll go ahead to use my ruler to connect these 3 lines together, or these 3 points together. The next thing is to mark your bust span, that is nipple to nipple measurement divided by 2. I'll go ahead to mark that on my bust point, my waist, my under bust, and 4 inches away from my waist measurement. So that's 4 inches away from my waist measurement, or my waist length rather. So I'll go ahead to connect these lines together. The next thing to do now is to mark your hip measurement divided by 4. After marking it, go ahead to use your ruler to connect it like so. So after marking that, I'll just go ahead to blend the remaining one to my gown length. Just connect it to your gown length like so. The next thing I'll go ahead to do is to mark 1/2 inch on both sides of my dart, which will be 1 inch in total for my dart intake. So on my bust point, I'll come down by 1 inch just like this. And I'll go ahead to connect my dart intake, which will make me have 4 inches upward and 4 inches downward from my waist measurement. 4 inches, the dart will be 4 inches upward from your waist, 4 inches downward from your waist. That will be the total length of the dart intake. So I'll go ahead to replace that 1 inches to the waist side. Then I'll blend that into the waist, into the hip measurement, and into the bust measurement. So after doing that, the next thing I'll go ahead to do now is to add 1 inch sewing allowance. I'll go ahead to trace that out with my ruler. The next thing to do is to mark out your neck line intake. So I'll be using 3 inches for the neck width, and 1.5 inches for the neck depth. I marked 1 inches here, but I eventually used 1.5 inches. So that's the measurement I used eventually for the neck depth, but I used 3 inches. So at the side I went up a little just to make it very round, to make the neck go up a little and ensure my collarbone doesn't show. The next thing to do now is to add 0.5 inches to your shoulder measurement or your shoulder line, and also to the neckline, but that will not be necessary, especially if you are using 1.5 inches, because you would use the 0.5 inches to draw or to sew the intake, the 0.5 inches intake. So adding 0.5 inches allowance to the neckline would not be necessary. Just add it to the shoulder intake. And I'll also go ahead to add 0.5 inches to my armhole curve. I'll blend it into the bust line allowance. So for the back, the zip intake, I'll go ahead to place my tape at the middle, at the waist side, and I'll mark 0.5 inches and on the remaining side I will go ahead to mark 1 inches. On the waist, the lower hip side, I'll mark 1 inches. So I'll connect that half inches at the waist and to the 1 inches at the chest region of the back fabric. This will prevent any zip bulging. It will allow your zip lay very flat into your back. One inch is for your zipper intake, or half inches will be subtracted from the waist side. So I'm gonna ahead to cut it out just like you see me do. I've cut out both the front and the back. Next thing now, I've gone ahead to take my dad's intake both at the front and at the back, and I'd also gone ahead to attach my zipper and join the sides by 1 inches on both sides. So this is what it looks like. This is what that intake looks like. This is what the zip placement looks like. So you can even use less than half yard of fabric for the upper part. So the next thing I'll go ahead to do is to pipe my neckline and my armhole with a black bias. So after doing that, the next thing I'll go ahead to do is to make a gathers with my lining and my chiffon fabric. You don't have to use a lining if your chiffon fabric is not transparent, or if you also want it to be transparent, you can just use your chiffon fabric like that. But I'm gonna have to use a lining fabric to add extra fullness to my lining, to my chiffon, and also to prevent it from being transparent. So this is what it looks like after I'd piped the neck and the armhole region. The next thing I'll go ahead to do after making my gathers is to place my gathered fabric on the lower part of my dress, giving it the desired shape that I want. And this is what it finally looks like. You can make this in less than 2 hours and it's very easy to replicate. So I hope you find this video helpful. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.